Give goes to Marlon Mack. Trots into the end zone. Touchdown, Marlon Mack. And the floodgates have opened.
We're going back to the playoffs.
The Colts are going to the playoffs. The Colts are going back to the playoffs for the first time since 2014.
Hey, playoffs, baby, we on the run now, yeah.
Playoffs. Wait. You want to say the playoffs? Playoffs.
Playoffs, baby.
Then we got the playoffs. Then we got the playoffs.
Man, we did it. We did something only 2 teams have done in NFL history, and that's make the playoffs from 1 and 5. Congratulations. We didn't do this thing just to get into playoffs. We ain't finished yet.
Hell no.
We ain't finished yet. It's just starting, right? It's just starting.
Football in January, who knew? JJ, you better be ready. Colts coming for you.
From the Huntington Bank Studio, this is Colts 365.
It has been fun to be able to open up the show with those recap videos because the Colts are rolling, they are winning, and we've talked about it really all year long of trying to get into the playoffs.
And we're in.
They're not trying anymore.
Yes.
They are not trying at all. I'm Caroline Gann, joined by Marlin Jackson, and we are talking about Colts football in the present because the Colts, they're at the Wildcard weekend taking on the Houston Texans, and you heard that fan at the end of that just saying like, come on, JJ Watt, we're ready for you. But
we'll see today.
Yeah.
If he's going to bring it, what he's bringing.
Will. I think he will.
I agree.
If we know JJ Watt, I think he will certainly be ready today. But it is January. It's the new year. We hope everyone out there came up with your New Year's resolutions. I'm not going to put you on the spot because I don't want to put my New Year's resolution back out there. I'm not sure I'm ready to be held accountable just quite yet. But every year you like to kind of reflect and say, what are the highs, the lows, the peaks, the valleys of the year. So we're going to do the same with this Colts team because they wrapped up the regular season definitely at a peak. This is exactly the football that they need to be playing, but there were some times that the Colts were making us a little nervous.
There were some valleys.
Yes, there have been some lows, but we're going to do this in the context of the Colts taking on the Houston Texans this wild card weekend. It's so exciting that we are still talking about Colts football in this way. So let's first go with the peaks. Okay, let's go with the highs because the Colts are doing exactly what they need to do this year to be able to be in this wild card weekend.
Well, I mean, I have to think about the winning streak first and foremost, right? I mean, since October, we've won 9. We're 9-1. 9-1. Awesome. But with that streak, it's been Andrew Luck. You know, possibly the comeback player of the year, playing phenomenal football, great in the pocket, great accuracy. You know, really taking charge and leadership and ownership of the offense. And him paired with our offensive coordinator and Frank Wright, it's like music to our ears really now with the rhythm that they're in. And then the offensive line.
This has been a surprise. Woo. Okay, this has to be one of those when you look back, you're saying, I did not know that was going to happen. We knew the offensive line was going to be improved, but they have the lowest sacks allowed in
drastically.
Everyone, do you understand?
When I think the previous season we had the most.
The most, yes. So a lot of different factors going, but the offensive line, that's been a surprise.
Wow, awesome. But, you know, you wonder what would happen with the draft picks. You know, Braden, the big guy from Notre Dame, Quentin Nelson. I mean, when you get these young guys in here and you really start to think about, will their talent transfer to the National Football League? Right. And to see it happen so quickly, you know, it was encouraging, but then it was drastically needed.
Yeah. Since we're playing the Houston Texans, we cannot go without talking about T.Y. Hilton because this man practically owns NRG Stadium. I believe last time Wikipedia actually changed to say that the owner was T.Y. Hilton. So this is a big game for T.Y., who's actually going to really be limping into NRG Stadium. He has said it. He has never played this banged up. His ankle is a problem, but he said, guys.
But it's been a problem, right?
He laughed when asked, so are you going to play?
How many weeks has that ankle been a problem? A number of weeks. And what have we seen with the production from T.Y. Hilton? It's been outstanding. It's been phenomenal. It's been big plays week in and week out. So I expect nothing less than a big game from T.Y. Hilton, especially as you said, going up against the Houston Texans. He owns the Houston Texan cornerbacks, right?
Yeah, 314 yards against the Houston Texans just this year. So there are your valleys. Those are kind of the highs. That's what we're excited about seeing this week. But we've got to talk a little bit about the valleys. And the valley was really at the beginning of the season. It was obvious that this team, they were 1-5, not where you want to be. They end up making history by being able to turn that around and make the playoffs. But I want to go valleys here of what makes me a little bit nervous about this game, and I want to turn to you to this because this team, they've been playing with this playoff mentality for weeks now, but it's not just a mentality anymore, it's the reality that this team is in. You are not guaranteed next week. Is that different? Like, does the locker room feel different that it's January and they're still playing?
Oh, definitely. I mean, for one, you're extremely excited to still be playing, to be in the tournament. And they've had some valleys, going against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I can relate to that, right?
Okay.
During our Super Bowl run, we gave up 500-plus yards to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Everybody was doubting the Indianapolis Colts. So then you flash back to a little earlier in this season, and we are the Jaguars pitched a shutout against the Indianapolis Colts, and people are wondering and scratching their heads like, what's going on with the Indianapolis Colts? What's going on with the offense? We can't score any points against the Jacksonville Jaguars. So a little bit of doubt comes into play, just like that time in our season.
Yeah.
But now these guys are going to step up just as we did and hopefully make a run, but those valleys really prepared us for this time, in my opinion, just like it did for us in our time. Overcoming those obstacles, bonding together as a team, coming out, continue to forge forward, enabled us to get to a Super Bowl championship.
Yeah, well, you hear that a lot in this Colts locker room, that if they wouldn't have started the way that they did, they might not be as successful as they are. And this playoff mentality, does it change when you're actually in the playoffs? Well, that's not what it sounds like in the Colts locker room.
It feels like it's been the postseason for us for a while now, and I don't think anybody's approach will change, in this locker room just because we're, quote unquote, in the dance. We're certainly excited. Those that have been in it excited. Those that it's the first time excited. But we know it's a football game at the end of the day. They're a quality team with quality guys. Certainly, from our perspective as an offense, their defense presents some unique challenges. Their personnel, they've got guys that can rush the passer, guys that can cover, and everything in between. So it's always a challenge. Certainly, as a fan of football, they've got some great players on offense that are fun to watch when you're not the one, one on the opposite bench. But it's a great team, and in the division, we know each other well. We are expecting a great atmosphere, and again, very excited.
We always talk about being 1-0, and now it's really 1-0. There's no such thing as next game, so we just got to go in with the same mindset to be 1-0 each week.
He has held his own against one of the most feared pass rushers in the NFL, and he just so happens to also be the host of the Right Stuff. Coming up next, Joe Reitz makes his return to Colts 365 to discuss his past battles with J.J. Watt. He is also joined by Colts former offensive lineman Jack Mewhort as the two discuss past playoff intensity and the importance of the trench game in this wild card matchup with the Texans.
Colts playoffs are presented by Verizon.
Colts fans, be sure to visit Colts.com to view the most recent feature of Instant Access, presented by Salesforce. Connect with your customers in a whole new way at Salesforce.com.
At Huntington, we're always thinking of ways to help customers. So when we heard they needed help tracking spending, we invented the spending drone.
Have we made any decisions? Yeah. We'll start with the oysters.
Over budget.
We'll both do the lobster.
Over budget.
With the truffle.
Over budget.
Potatoes.
Then we simplified. Presenting Huntington Heads Up. You set the monthly amounts you want to spend on restaurants, and we'll send you a heads up to keep you on track. Looking out for you by looking out for your money. Huntington. Welcome.
Where do I go for personal service? That's local.
Easy. IMCU.
Indiana Members Credit Union. For car and home loans, or even credit cards, I get expert guidance
from someone I know and trust.
The service and advice are always excellent.
We've been IMCU members for years, and we will be for life.
Time for a new vehicle? Get pre-approved with no application fee at Indiana Members Credit Union.
For all your lending needs, choose
IMCU. Indiana Members Credit Union.
This is The Middle,
A place where people come together, look each other in the eye, and get to work. Where people believe in more. Like they can always do a little more, give a little more, and find ways for their families to have a little more. We were born and raised here, and for over 80 years, we've done whatever we can to help people have and do a little more.
From the Huntington Bank studio, this is Colts 365.
Welcome back to Colts 365. I am joined by Joe Reitz and Jack Mewhort for a remix of the Reitz stuff. Joe wanted to take over.
No, I did.
Are you itching a little bit?
No, I don't.
Weird being on that side?
No. Yeah, it is different being on this side of the table instead of here.
Yeah, and you guys were saying you needed to switch to.
Yeah, I wanted Jack here for left guard and me like when left tackle. But
well, one thing I know about Joe is that he's a me guy, so he's got to be in the middle.
Wow.
I don't believe this is the right stuff, but it's starting to feel like it.
Wow.
Well, I did bring the mug here for everyone just to maybe make you feel a little bit more at ease over there on that side. Yes, but we do have you guys back because the Colts, they're back in the playoffs. First time since 2014. You guys were both there. This is a young team. What is going on in this locker room as they are getting ready to play? You're chomping at the bit. You're already looking at me like you know.
Well, it's exciting. Like, I'm excited right now knowing this team is back in the playoffs. It's been 4 years, and the excitement level the playoffs bring. And I think the message that's probably going through the locker room from all the leaders, like Andrew and Vinny and Jabal and guys that have been there, been in the playoffs, is don't treat this week any different. Do what you do. Your preparation should stay the same. Block out your distractions, and now all of a sudden it's the playoffs and all your family and friends wants to call and text you and there's more media opportunities. You just got to do what got you there and do, the mantra this team took on 1-0 every week. As long as they continue to do that, they'll be fine against Houston on Saturday.
But can you really do that? It's different. It's the playoffs. This team has been playing with that mentality of this 1-0, but they still were going to play the next week.
What's that? You were in the playoffs your first year.
Yeah, it's a different feel. You look around and all of a sudden half the teams in the NFL aren't playing anymore, and you're still in it. It's a cool feeling, and the stakes are higher. The regular season you go through and you want to get in the dance. So once you get there, there is a little bit of a different feel, but as a professional, you have to go about your routine the same way and prepare like you would any other game, and not get caught up in the bright lights. And you stop and smell the roses after the game, after you've won, but you got to prepare like a professional, like you did every other week leading up to it, and do what got you there.
Well, they're going up against a team that they've played twice. They've split those games, very different games as far as personnel. And since you guys offensive linemen, that offensive line was very different from the first time that they played to the second time. And we showed some footage coming into this of you going up against J.J. Watt. Held your own there. Now Braden Smith has been tasked with that, a rookie going up against that. He did great the first time. But, come on. It's J.J. Watt. He's an animal.
He's a tremendous player, defensive player of the year. But I tell you what, Braden Smith played really, really well. And I think he did a couple things, and kind of things that I tried to do when I played against him is, as big and strong as JJ is, he's a guy that wants to beat you with finesse. He wants to beat you with the swim moves, with redirection, and so he wants guys to be super aggressive against him. Braden did a great job of setting square, staying back, and what we always try to do is say, make him run you over, make him bull rush you to the quarterback, and make him do that over and over and over again. If you do that, you're going to be fine against him. I thought Braden had a great game plan. He was patient. He did a tremendous job. And scheme-wise, the Colts did some great things too. They had some max protections in where they brought in an extra offensive lineman with Haig, and there were certain plays when you double team, you triple team him, you try to wear him down a little bit in the run game. The Colts had a great plan the second time down in Houston, but a lot of that goes to Braden Smith, how well he played against JJ. And then also, Costanzo didn't play the first time we played Houston, and he did a great job on the other side in blocking Clowney.
Well, you were with some of these guys in training camp as far as how this room has grown from the time that you first met some of these rookies, met Googe in that room, to where they are now. Is this what you expected out of this being in the room?
Yeah, I think I saw the beginning of it. Coach Googe, he brings that brawler mentality, and it has manifested itself on the field every week. And I think every week we've seen those guys grow and get more mature. And fewest sacks in the NFL as an offensive line, comparatively speaking, to the last few years, unbelievable. And everyone wants to get fired up about the Houston defense. Let's not forget a couple Pro Bowlers on our offensive line, least amount of sacks allowed in the NFL. They're a force to be reckoned with, and they've gotten better every week. And they will continue to get better this week.
and I think it'll show on the field.
Well, you said the fewest sacks. Okay, from last year, it was Jacoby Brissett. It was different. It was the most sacks. Years before
Jack was
that,
on the team too last year.
Years before. We're going to go years before that. So you would have been on that team too. I was going even years back before that. Okay, a lot with this offense has changed.
Are you trying to say you get Jack Mewhort and Joe Reitz out and all of a sudden the line is great?
Did anyone out there, is that what I said?
Is that what you're saying?
All right, well, when you look at this matchup this weekend, this is a huge game because it is the playoffs. They've been playing this playoff mentality, but Saturday is the day where it really does switch over to a wild card chance to be able to continue this season. What is going to be the biggest difference in this game?
To me, it's going to be eliminating mistakes. You get to the playoffs, the intensity's higher, the game speed's going to be a little quicker, and the margin for error is slim. And so, turnovers, penalties, missed assignments, making sure that you got 5 guys on the same page, because it's going to be loud down there. The loudest stadium I ever played in was Houston in a regular season game. When we played back there in 2016, that Sunday night game that we let slip away. So you take that, put it on steroids a little bit, and now it's going to be even louder. So the communication is going to be paramount, because it'll literally be, if I was left guard and Jack was left tackle, when it's 3rd down and 6, or we're in our own end zone and the crowd's going nuts, I could be right here to him yelling at the top of my lungs, and he still might not be able to hear.
Right, you better be able to read lips.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why the communication is so important with the O-line, because they got some Pro Bowlers there on the other side and guys we got to block. So really just that eliminating the mistakes, making sure everybody's on the same page. That's what I'll be looking for.
And the good news is, I think with that, there are guys on this team with experience. And you talked about him earlier, and Andrew, and Anthony's been there. And the situation's not going to be too big for guys like Quentin Nelson and Ryan Kelly and the rest of those guys. They'll be fine. They have each other. They play as a unit, and they're going to lean on each other when times get tough. And I'm excited to see how they go out and dominate, because I really do believe the Colts have a better offensive line than the Houston's defensive line. As much credit as I give Houston's defensive line, I'm excited to watch the Colts O-line go out there and impose their will.
She is known as the better half of Colts head coach Frank Reich. Still ahead on Colts 365, Linda Reich discusses the whirlwind transition her family has made in the last 12 months and how they've come to embrace the incredible opportunity here in Indianapolis. We'll be right back.
Papa John's offers 2 large 2-topping pizzas and a 2-liter for $20. Promo code BLUE22. 10% of discounted price donated to Riley's Children's Foundation.
Are you a news watcher?
We watch you every morning.
Oh, wow.
Well, you guys have got great news every morning.
We'll give you the real deal news from a real person's perspective. I try to be just as frank on the air as I am right here telling you what's really important.
I'm Morgan Lucas of Lucas Oil Products. At Lucas Oil, we take pride in developing products that work for you and your needs. Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment is for gas or diesel engines. You can use it in your motorcycle, snowmobile, tractor, boat, nearly anything that has an engine. You can add this product at an oil change or in between, either way. Unlike some other products on the market, you don't have to change your engine's oil after using it. Lucas Oil is proud to be made in America and sold to the world. Lucas Oil, it works.
Where do I go for personal service? That's local? Easy. IMCU. Indiana Members Credit Union. For car or home loans, or even credit cards, I get expert guidance
from someone I know and trust.
The service and advice are always excellent.
We've been IMCU members for years, and we will be for life.
Right now, you can get up to $1,000 off closing costs on 15-year fixed and adjustable rate mortgages at Indiana Members Credit Union.
For all your lending needs, choose
IMCU, Indiana Members Credit Union.
Are you a news watcher?
We watch you every morning.
Oh, wow.
Well, you guys have got great news every morning.
We'll give you the real deal news from a real person's perspective. I try to be just as frank on the air as I am right here telling you what's really important.
From the Huntington Bank studio, this is Colts 365.
Welcome back to Colts 365. After a 1-5 start to this season, the Colts are back in the playoffs. And many are crediting head coach Frank Reich for this new era of Colts football. But it's not just the team who is embracing this new chapter. Colts 365's Lara Overton explains how the coach's wife, Linda, is calling this opportunity in Indy a blessing.
It's been a whirlwind 2018 for the Reich family. Days removed from a Super Bowl win with the Eagles, they were gathered on stage at Lucas Oil in front of their new town with a new spotlight.
Some people say the backup role, or Frank has said the backup role has suited him well. I think the navigating change has suited me well.
Frank and Linda have been married more than 30 years.
But we've known each other since 6th grade, so a long time.
And as an NFL wife, Linda learned to embrace the change that came with 5 coaching stops in a decade.
I really have learned just to unearth everything in a community and enjoy what's there, enjoy the people there, and make the most of every city we've ever lived in.
Linda tells me that her love of football even precedes her life with Frank.
I have always loved the sport. My father loved the sport, my brother played, and it was just always part of our family. I mean, Sundays were football Sundays.
Juggling the demands of the season means time as a family is limited, but the Reichs make the most of the quiet moments when they have them, sharing a common interest.
Funny little secret for Frank and I, something that we both love to read, and during the season he doesn't get to read a whole lot. He'll come home and we'll just read books. Just read books to him while he's kind of relaxing and sitting on the sofa. So it's kind of a nice way to decompress.
A book lover just like his quarterback.
Absolutely. I think they're always exchanging different books, and usually once a week he's coming home telling me, hey, Andrew said about that book or that book.
Downtime has certainly been minimal since that February introduction, but having witnessed firsthand this fan base and community embrace their first-year head coach, Linda isn't rushing this season to a close.
It's just really amazing to be part of all that energy. Some days I pinch myself and I think, this is amazing. To be here in this city with this organization right now, it's just really a blessing.
Well, kickoff is just minutes away, and up next, we will discuss the keys to this wild card matchup in Houston and how the Colts can survive and advance in the postseason.
The Indianapolis Colts would like to congratulate the Damar MVP from the Colts' first Giants game, Jalen McClary.
A message from your local Meijer. Local sports are a victory for our entire community. Building leaders, teaching integrity, sparking our economy. That's why Meijer is proud to sponsor local sports throughout Indiana. Because when we support the home team, we all win.
Bullseye Event Group's VIP Colts tailgate presented by Hayes & Son is at every Colts home game at the new Bullseye Event Center across the street from Lucas Oil Stadium. Open premium bar, all-you-can-eat food by Food Network celebrity chef Aaron May, who's featured on diners, drive-ins, and dives. Bullseye Event Center is 9,500 square feet of event space with 3 retractable glass garage doors that open up to decks and green space with dramatic views of Lucas Oil Stadium and the downtown skyline. For the best game day experience, visit bullseyeeventgroup.com.
Where do I go for personal service? That's local.
Easy.
IMCU, Indiana Members Credit Union. For car and home loans, or even credit cards, I get expert guidance
from someone I know and trust.
The service and advice are always excellent.
We've been IMCU members for years, and we will be for life.
Time for a new vehicle? Get pre-approved with no application fee at Indiana Members Credit Union.
For all your lending needs, choose
IMCU, Indiana Members Credit Union.
At Papa John's, when it comes to better ingredients, better pizza, we deliver. And now, in addition to delivering a pizza topped with quality ingredients like real meats with no fillers, fresh sliced Roma tomatoes, onions, and green peppers, and fresh, never frozen hand-tossed original dough, we're delivering even more value with this special offer.
The Colts Fan Feast. 2 large, 2-topping pizzas and a 2-liter for $22. Promo code BLUE22. 10% of discounted price donated to Riley Children's Foundation.
It's now time for the Forum Question of the Week. Andrew Luck engineered his 21st fourth-quarter comeback against the Giants in Week 16. Since 2012, Luck is tied with Drew Brees for the third most game-winning drives. Which quarterback holds the record for most fourth-quarter comebacks in NFL history? The answer is Peyton Manning with 43. Forum Credit Union, helping members live their financial dreams.
From the Huntington Bank Studio, this is Colts 365.
Hi, I'm John Corbin. Huntington Bank is proud to be the official bank of the Indianapolis Colts.
Welcome back to Colts 365, and welcome back to Marlin Jackson on the desk. We're going final thoughts here for the Speedway Scouting Report. You are not guaranteed the next week. 1-0 mindset.
That's right.
This team has been playing with that mindset, but it's the reality now. So what are you looking for to them to continue their season here in January?
Well, just as the season started, the work that was put in rebuilding this team, the focus was up front, right? And for me, that is the focus of this football game, up front. Offensively, one, obviously protecting Andrew Luck, and with protecting Andrew Luck, him protecting that football, not turning it over. And I think we found out this season, when we have balance, we win, right? When we have Andrew Luck slinging that thing.
Simple.
It sounds too simple, right?
It really
sounds
does.
too simple. But when we have Andrew Luck protected and we have Marlon Mack, we have holes open for him, we win football games. So let's transition to the defensive side of the ball. On defense, up front again, getting after the quarterback, Deshaun Watson. And watching last week, the Houston Texans, they had a lot of quarterback design runs, QB design runs. So can we contain him, not only in the pocket, but can we stop him having a spy on him when he tucks it and he runs the football as well? And with that, getting consistent pressure so that we can create turnovers. So for me, that all starts up front with the offensive and defensive lines. And if we can win that battle up front, I believe we'll win this football game.
Well, an interesting part about this game is we mentioned at the top of the show, the Colts, they have the fewest sacks allowed in the regular season. The Houston Texans, they have the most. So let's see if this defensive line can get after Deshaun Watson. You mentioned it right off the top, but this playoff football, how do they approach this in a healthy way to walk out of there with a win?
Well, look, the process has already started. You know, Coach Wright, the leadership is always, I can't stress it enough, the leadership here in this building is excellent. So it began with him reaching out to guys like Adam Vinatieri.
Yeah.
What is that stat?
30. Everyone
Did
has
you hear
played
that?
in 30 playoff games.
30 playoff appearances. Wow. So why not go to that treasure trove there of Adam Vinatieri and pick his brain of the feelings, the emotions, how you prepare. He's been around the best. He is the best. So right from that standpoint, leading there with Adam Vinatieri, Coach Frank Reich, he was just in the Super Bowl a year ago, right? And then we have Andrew Luck. He's been to the AFC Championship game along with T.Y. Hilton. So let's lean on those guys, right? Let's pick their brain. Let's let them lead the way.
Well, Adam Vinatieri heading into his 31st playoff game here in just a little bit. The Colts getting ready to kick off against the Houston Texans for this wild card weekend. Everyone tune in. Everyone get excited. See if we can get the boys in blue to continue playing this season. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Caroline Ken. He's Marlin Jackson. From everyone at Colts 365, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.